Hey everyone, welcome back to the 80s Slashers YouTube channel. In this video, I will be taking a look at some of the best experiences I've had watching 80s Slasher this past year. Now I know it's a little later in January. If some of you who have been following the channel know, I took a little break. I took a few weeks off just to enjoy the holidays and whatnot. So it's been a few weeks. I've been enjoying that. But yeah, so I'm back now, and I kind of want to do a best of and a worst of 2022. The films that I've watched this year, kind of a video. So I know we're getting in mid-January, but it is what it is. So yeah, so over the course of 2022, for this channel, I've watched and reviewed 17 different 80s slashers this year. Um, some of these were, these are some of the ones you're looking at here. There's more. I just threw a couple. These are some of like the reviews and stuff that I did this year. But yeah, some of these were really great experiences. Others not so much. Um, I some of it was based on just the film itself. Some of it's based on like the quality. There's lots of different reasons why I enjoy the experience or what. So we'll get into that when we get into the top five here. But yeah, so like I said, I will focus next video on some of the worst experiences, but I figured we'd start off this new year by talking about the positive, focusing on the positive. So that's what we'll do. Now, like I just mentioned, like most of the five films that we're going to talk about today are mainly on this list due just to the overall enjoyment of the film, how much I thought the film was enjoyable, whether I liked it or not. There are some that made this list mainly for the viewing experience, due to like the physical media upgrade kind of thing. Like, but so we'll get into that when we get to it. But yeah, let's just not waste any time. So let's get into it. Now before I get into the top five, I do have one honorable mention that I kind of just want to talk about right quick. It's kind of a cheat, I guess. Yeah, I know you'll see, but I just want to talk about it a little bit. So, but yeah, before we get into the top five, let's take a quick look at my honorable mention. All right, so yeah, as my honorable mention here, I just want to talk about the 4K release of Friday the 13th, the original film from 1980. Now I didn't review the actual film Friday the 13th this year. I don't think I've ever actually reviewed it on the channel. It's just, but everyone who follows the channel knows this is my favorite 80s slasher of all time. And we got the 4K Ultra HD release this year. And so I did like a review of the 4K release itself on the channel. So you can go back and take a look at my full thoughts. But this was one of the pretty divisive releases this year. Some people on YouTube and the internet absolutely loved it. Some people hated it, thought it was the worst thing. Um, they compared it to like the Screen Factory box set, which I don't have. I can't compare it to that. But yeah, the big issue was it was too dark. People's big complaint was this film was too dark. You couldn't see anything. So some people wrote it off as garbage. Obviously, this made my honorable mention for my most enjoyable experiences. I'm one of the people who I really liked this release. I thought it was great. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, like this isn't a perfect release. When you watch my review of it, there is some issues that I found on here. But overall, I thought this was a fantastic experience. This is my new go-to way to watch this film. I won't watch anything else. I really enjoyed this. Yes, the film is darker, but um, it- over the last 30, 40 years watching this film, we've become accustomed to, all these home media releases. And it's brighter, but it's not as natural. I feel this is like the way the filmmakers intended it to look. It looks real. This is a horror film. It's an atmospheric, tension filled horror film. And yeah, it's dark at times, but it adds to it. It adds to the atmosphere. It really lends itself to this genre of film, I feel. And yeah, it's an adjustment because I'm used to seeing the brighter scenes that are like all lightened up. Um, and it's a different experience, but I don't know. I liked it. I think it just made for a whole new experience watching this film, uh, and it just fit the tone of the film. So I really liked it. Like I said, there was a couple issues with some of the white levels. Like there was a couple moments where like some of them were really washed out. But again, it's like a second or two at a time. Didn't affect the experience at all. Just something I noticed. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect. Um, but the colors, like the HDR used in this, the colors and just the resolution, certain scenes, like it just like the we've never had so much detail on like the drops of rain and just like the facial features, like the pores and the facial hair, all that stuff. It's great. It looks fantastic. So I'm super glad this got restored, got a release, and I can't wait for parts 2 to 4, which parts 1 through 4 they gave them a 4K scan. This is the first one to actually be put on a 4K disc. So I'm assuming at least parts 2 to 4 are coming. Um, Parts 5 through 8, that would be great. I would love to have all these. Except for the French. Man, I hate the French on these. It just totally ruins it. Whatever. But yeah, honorable mention, Friday the 13th on 4K. Super good. All right, let's move on and let's take a look at my number 5. Okay, so coming to number 5, we have American Gothic from 1987. Now, yeah, this was a first time watch for me. This was one of the films that was on my, most wanted to watch list for a long time. I just, it's one of those ones I've overlooked and I had never gotten around to seeing. And then like my OCD kicked in because I never had a physical copy, so it would have been easy to watch, but I just want to hold off. Um, this is obviously a DVD. I found this at the Dollarama. It was like $1 or $2, which was super exciting for me. I know Screen Factory has a Blu-ray, but unless I find that for a really good price, I have the film now. I'm fine with this. I don't really need to upgrade it. Besides the point. Yeah, Canadian film, which is great. I'm from Canada, so um, that's always a benefit for me. But yeah, this was a great watch. I really like this film. Really scenic. Like it takes place on like an island, like a group of friends on an airplane. They're playing mechanical problems. They crash and they get deserted on this island. There's this crazy family that are living like they're in like the 1920s. And they're all like very religious, very strict. But the family is like messed up. Like they have like three adult children who are like in their 30s, maybe 40s, but they act like they're 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, which is really creepy and off-putting. Like all the characters are just, they all have some kind of creep factor. The mother, Yvonne DiCarlo, she's awesome. The father's really good, and like all the children. What's her name? I can't remember her character's name, but she's from a TV show in Canada, Corner Gas. It's like a comedy that used to run for a long time. So it was really fun to see her. She was really weird, playing with dollies and dressing up and like having birthday parties. Really, really weird. Yeah, this is just like a creepy, creepy film. Some really fun, creative, unique kills. The ending of the film I liked just because it did something pretty different that you don't usually see in 80s slasher. So I really like the ending, the way that the film concluded. Yeah, this was just a great experience. I had a lot of fun watching this, and it lived up to my expectations. Like I said, 'cause I'd been wanting to watch this for a really long time, and yeah, it just lived up to it. So yeah, coming at number 5, my best 80s slashers experience of the year, 1987's American Gothic. Really fun. Really like this one. All right, let's move on and have a look at number 4. Okay, so coming in at number 4, we have Girls Night Out from 1982. And now this this is the one on this list here, like I mentioned earlier in the intro here. This is mainly due to this Blu-ray package, this whole set. This is from Arrow Video, and this is beautiful. It has like some embossing, like the nail, like the knife. They're like kind of like you can feel them. The old original poster, which is super cool. This is just a fantastic set from Arrow Video. I highly recommend you pick this up. But yeah, because of this Blu-ray, this was a film that I had watched, I think one, maybe two times before I had gotten this. I had seen this a few times over the years, and I always liked it. I thought it was a good film, but my issue was I had like, it was just like a video file I had, and it was like a VHS rip or something from YouTube or whatever it was, and it was pretty poor quality. It was really dark. A lot of the scenes were really dark, and I had a hard time telling some of the female characters apart. There's a couple like brunettes, and they're all similar. They're all wearing like the school colors, and the name. It was hard to yeah, it was just hard to tell some of the characters apart. So I found it a little confusing. It didn't affect it much. I still liked the movie, but I always had that criticism in my mind when I watched this film. Like, there's something it's a little confusing for me or whatever. I finally got this. I watched it, and the restoration that Arrow Video did really brought this film to life. It wasn't as dark anymore. It really brought up some of the shadows, and I don't know, maybe it was because it was my multiple viewings of it, but I knew all the characters this time. It was just a good experience, and I watched it, and I was just so happy that it felt like it was like watching it for the first time almost. The restoration was so good compared to my previous version. So because of that, I was just so happy that like, man, I finally get to see this film um, in a version that's clear and vibrant and looks really good. And that happens with a lot of films. You know, you grow up watching some of these films that are really poor quality, and you're like, that's not great, and it really affects the viewing experience. So when you get like a good release like this, it really helps, and it just makes it a great experience for me. This is an average slasher. It's not one of the best in the genre. It's not one of the worst. It's an average slasher. It's good. I liked it. Um, but I was just really happy that I just got to enjoy it like as it should have been, like as you if you went to the theater in '82. That's what it was like seeing this in the first in that kind of light. So it was really good. And this has one of the best endings in the genre. I love the ending of this film. It's like the plot, mystery twist reveal is pretty tight. It's pretty good. Y- if it's your first time watch, maybe you'll be able to guess what it is. I don't know. They leave quite a bit of clues sprinkled throughout, but it's good. I like how they drop the clues, and you can kind of figure out. It's not impossible to figure out the mystery, the twist. So it's really good like that, tight plot. But then the ending is like just super creepy. Some of like the visuals, there's like a freeze frame at the end. It kind of makes your hair stand up on your arms for me. It's yeah, great experience. Like I said, this new transfer really brought it to life. So yeah, Girls Night Out, fantastic experience for me this year. Loved it. Definitely check out the Blu-ray. It's a good film. All right, let's move on and take a look at number three. All right, so coming in at number three, we have Blood Harvest from 1987. This is a Vinegar Syndrome um, Blu-ray release, and I'm gonna say this was probably, again, first time watch. This was probably the most pleasant surprise of any '80s slasher that I watched this year. Uh, Again, I had I barely had any expectations for this. It was just one of those ones on Vinegar Syndrome's website. I picked it up on one of the Black Friday sales or whatnot. Um, I just it sat on my shelf for a while. It was never, I need to watch this. I bought it, and I must have sat on this for 5 6 months before I watched it. Again, this isn't the best slasher. It's an average slasher. There's things way better than this. There's things way worse than this. It's your average slasher at best. But this is my kind of slasher. And what I mean by that is because this film, unbeknownst to me, I had no idea going into it, but this has a really sleazy vibe to it that I just didn't expect at all. I don't know, yeah, it's sleazy. And because of that, I really liked it way more than, like I said, I thought I was going to. My initial expectations is that this was a weird slasher cashing in on the fact that it had Tiny Tim, like the regular artwork is this, from Vinegar Syndrome, and had like Tiny Tim's face. If you don't know Tiny Tim, he's like a weird folk singer that played like a ukulele, tiptoe through the tulips with like a really weird singing voice. But then in the 80s they put him in a slasher film, and he's always dressed up in the clown outfit. Yeah, that was my expectations. Like, just gonna be some weird slasher that they threw Tiny Tim in to make some money. I don't know, but he's actually pretty good in this. He's creepy. He's fitting for the role. But this film has tons of nudity, lots of nudity. The main character is nude all the time in it, and she's very attractive. But there's like there's like, I don't know what, three or four really like rapey scenes, really uncomfortable. Like you're watching like sexual assaults kind of happen, like not full out like rapes, but like just creepy, like people getting drugged unconscious, and like the guys like groping them, and you're watching it, like it's showing them actually groping the women in her underwear, completely passed out. Really weird and unsettling, but it's so sleazy, and there's like knives involved, and um yeah, it's just I don't know. And when we get the kills, a lot of the kills are all throat slits. A lot of it kind of plays into the plot of the whole film. So most of the kills are all throat slits, but they're pretty good. They're pretty gory, lots of blood. Again, the kills are sleazy. There's like a scene, yeah, you can see this here. The guy is like strips her down to her underwear, ties her up. She's struggling. He's like chasing her. He's like rubbing the knife. It's like just really creepy, sleazy stuff going on. And he slits her throat eventually. Um, yeah, I was just kind of taken back by this film. I just had a good time. It was way more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I had no expectations for this, but yeah, I like the sleaze. I like the sleazy slashers, and this one I didn't see it coming, and I just really enjoyed it because of that. So yeah, Blood Harvest coming in at number three. Just a fun time. Like I said, not the best slasher by any means, but good sleazy fun. So definitely, if that's your type of film that you also enjoy, definitely check it out. It has some good stuff for you in there. All right, let's move on and take a look at number two. All right, so coming at number two from 1981, we have Nightmare in a Damaged Brain, also known as Nightmare, also known as Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, all kinds of different titles for this one. But yeah, as you can see, I have like the DVD, Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. Um, Now this is a film similar to American Gothic that I had wanted to see for a while. Um, I kind of knew what to expect. I knew what type of slasher this was going to be. But even with those expectations, I was still not prepared for what I actually watched. This again, like Blood Harvest, this is a sleazy, grimy 80s slasher. Really sleazy, just really dirty. Just yeah, this falls within the category of like the Maniac, the New York Ripper, that style of 80s slasher. This is in that family. Another one is Don't Open Till Christmas. They're all like this sleazy, grimy, sex, murder, kills. It's all mixed together into this one weird ball, and it's great. I love that. Yeah, whenever you get that style, almost automatically like the film, regardless of what else it has. I just like that feeling in these films. Uh, Now this is a DVD. The quality was not great at all, but this is uncut, so I got to see everything in this film. But yeah, in a way, the poor quality. Look at all this. It's just ridiculous. Some of this stuff. The poor quality of this kind of added to the experience because it just kind of fit the tone of the film. There is a Blu-ray for this. I think it's out of print. It's hard to get. I'm hoping it gets another release. I might upgrade it because I would like to see this in like a nice crystal clear audio video package. But that's not what this is. But again, like I said, it kind of made the experience suiting. It was like watching a VHS, like a dirty, taped off TV VHS copy from like '84 or something. That's what it felt like. And yeah, it was great. This film, Tom Savini is involved. There's a whole thing like he says he wasn't involved. They were putting his name on the pictures, posters promoting like from the guy who brought you Friday the 13th, Dawn of the Dead. And he's like, no, no, I didn't do anything to do with it. But then there's pictures of him on set holding some of the props. So he was like I think he was like a consultant. He might not have done the actual practical effects, but he was there giving his advice, I guess. I don't know. He was involved in some way. And it shows because the kills are similar to his type of kills from, some of his 80 slashers like The Prowler and The Burning and Friday the 13th 1 and 4. It's that genre of kills for him. And that they're top notch. They're great. They're overly brutal and violent. There's like a decapitation that's just unbelievable. There's just some really violent um, kills, and it's great. It's fantastic. But again, it's mixed in with like the sex and the nudity, and it's like just super sleazy. It's probably the sleaziest that he's been involved with. I don't know. It's really good. Uh, Now, like I said, this is another example of this is an average low budget. It's probably less than average, but people probably don't like this film. I mainly like it because of the sleaze, but yeah, it's your average low budget slasher that's basically elevated um by the sleaze and the kills, the variety and the gruesomeness of the kills. It's just yeah, that's what this is, and that's what I like in these films. I like this little sub genre of 80s slasher, and this one delivers. So yeah, I had a great time with this. So yeah, coming to number two, Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. All right, let's wrap this up and take a look at my number one favorite 80s slasher experience of 2022. All right, so coming at number one, we have from 1987 Slumber Party Massacre 2. Haven't seen part 3, ignore part 3. Slumber Party Massacre 2. This is like one of my most recent. I did this just at the end of the year. I made like a whole pickup video on this Blu-ray I have here, and I did all that. I won't talk about that. Slumber Party Massacre 2. Again, this is one I'd never seen, but I'd always wanted to watch this for so long. The original Slumber Party Massacre is like my top five, maybe top three 80s slasher. I love the first one. And I've always wanted to watch this, but it's just always eluded me for some reason. I never had a physical copy, and I know it's on some streaming services, but again, I like to own a physical copy. I like to wait, and the payoff is better. I finally get my hands on a copy, and I can watch it I own my own copy, watch it when I want. Um, anyway, I finally got it, like last month, I think. And like I said, I had high expectations for this film just because I knew what it was like. What it was like. People talked about this. I seen some clips in the trailers and some of the craziness. So I wasn't sure. I was excited, but I'm like, is this gonna be for me? Because I knew it was an oddball type of film, and those expectations were met. Without a doubt, this is a weird film. Like, there's there's nothing quite like it. Like, I'm trying to think of something that you can compare to Slumber Party Massacre 2. Maybe Part 3. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna review that soon. Uh, but yeah, there's nothing that's quite comparable to this. And I just loved it. This film, I had a smile on my face the entire time. It's not a long movie, and I was just happy the whole way through. And that's, when that happens, it's a good experience. You just had so much fun. Um, I loved how this was like, it's a direct sequel to the first film, and I like how it's connected. Like, there's different actors playing, but some of the characters they talk about, they show some clips from the first film, and the plot wise, it's connected really well, and it's just a continuation. So in that sense, it's grounded and like it fits. It's in like the regular world within that story. But then it's also really different because it takes like a sharp right turn, and it goes crazy wacky, and it's its own thing. And yeah, I don't know when there's a scene in this movie when the killer here, the driller killer, he breaks into like a musical number. in the midst of like making kills. You know, he's stalking these women in the house, and he has his guitar and he's on the floor. He's dancing. He's like break dancing. He's singing a song. He's playing the guitar and he's like stabbing women with his big drill as he's singing a song. It's crazy. It's so hard. It's just I was just so happy watching it. It's definitely one of the strangest scenes I've ever seen in an 80s slasher, but it worked really well, like it with the rest of the film, and it was awesome. I don't know. It just this is I don't know. This is just a weird, fun experience. And like I said, I think it was my favorite experience of the year. I don't know if it was because I had such high expectations. I've been waiting to watch this for so long. I wasn't disappointed. Like I was happy the whole time. So I don't know. I want to see it. I finally saw it. It made me happy, and it was a good time. So yeah, I'm gonna put this as my best 80s slashers experience of 2022. It was a really good time, and I can't wait to do part three. I might do that. That might be my next review. I don't know. We'll see. I have a few other ones I need to get to, but yeah, we'll see. So that's it. That's my top five 80 slashes experience of 2022. So like I said, up next I will do my top five worst 80 slashes experience. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, until next time. All right. See ya.